Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the February 25th Historical Commission meeting. We're gonna call this meeting to order, and we are gonna go through the roll call. I see we got Dana, we got Mark, got Eric, got John, we got David, we got myself. Um, don't see any others from the commission on, but we
David.
have a quorum. I saw David. David was logging on, but I think he was having an issue, maybe.
Uh-huh.
So why don't we give it a second, because I know that David wants to make a motion to amend the agenda to add a new item to the new business. So I'll give him a second. And Michelle, just flagging for you, I may need to dip out from the meeting tonight a little bit early. Got newborn daddy duties, so that's gonna take a little bit of precedent. In that event, then as Vice Chair Dana, then I would be handing off the reins to you. My first full meeting as chair, and then I got to hand it right back to Dana.
Congratulations, Rich.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody.
Rich,
Yeah.
I have to step away for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
I do have one correction to the minutes in case I'm not back,
Okay.
and it's under the Norwalk Historical Society report. The talk is going to be by Mark Albertson, Albertson.
Okay. We'll make that correction. Albertson. Okay. Okay. So as we're still waiting for David, why don't we, if anybody's got a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll motion to approve the minutes with the correction.
With the correction.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Okay, now I see that David is logging on here.
Sorry, I'm having computer trouble. I just came on my iPad.
All good. David approved the minutes from the last meeting with the correction, but I know you've got a motion to amend the agenda, so I want to give the opportunity to make that motion.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to add to the agenda under new business, a possible vote to add 70 Taylor Avenue to the historic resource inventory. And I'm trying to send you all out the form because something with my email. But anyway, yeah, we need to look at this addition to the historic resource, our local inventory.
I believe, is that the form that Michelle sent out earlier?
Oh, did you guys get it? Okay, great. Because I'm trying to send it and my computer is not working. I tried to send it a while ago and it's bouncing back. So you guys got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the motion.
I'll second it.
Terrific.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So that would be item D. That'll be the last item under new business.
Yep.
Okay. Michelle, I don't know how that gets reflected in the agenda. I would assume on the portal, it would have to be updated for the public to be able to view that after the meeting, I would assume.
Yeah, and then it'll be in the minutes.
Okay.
That addition. And for the minutes for that vote you guys just made, Mark, are you abstaining? Were you at the meeting?
He wasn't in last month.
You were there?
Last meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I just didn't see a vote, so I wasn't sure.
No, I voted for it. I mean, I could abstain. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right, so let's move to the next item. We got public participation. Is there anybody that we've got who is in the waiting room that wants to speak on any items?
We have no attendees from the public on tonight.
Okay, awesome. And next we'll do reports on the boards, and Diane Gilleret, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody stayed warm with our last set of snow coming in. I just want to let you know we got in our Valentine's Day program with George and Martha. It was very well attended. It was wonderful. And I want to thank DPW for clearing all the snow off the off our stairway because everything had gotten frozen, and it was just in time for the event. So thank you to everyone that was able to attend. We will probably have them back. They were great. They were wonderful. So the next thing that's coming up, you probably got emails about that, is the history reveal by schoolgirl samplers, and we're having a lecture, a speaker on that particular event, and that's going to be on March 7th. That's going to be on a Saturday at 2 o'clock. And we're having our speaker is going to be talking about basically samplers that we have in the collection that we have from the 1800s, and it tells stories about the girls and the times before the Industrial Revolution. So again, that's going to be at Mill Hill Historic Park, and we hope that all of you can come. And it is a free event, so please come join us on March 7th. And then we just had an amendment to the minutes that of the 19th Amendment talk, Women and the Right to Vote, by Mark Alperson. He's going to be here, and we have a lot of interest in that. So the League of Women Voters in Norwalk will be helping to promote that. It's kind of timely at this point in time. So again, that's going to be on Saturday, March 21st, at 2 o'clock at Mill Hill. So again, I hope that you all can attend that. And in April we're going to be participating in Earth Day with the city and a lot of different organizations. So it's really become very popular, and Mill Hill will be used. And I think we're going to try to get a tree planted at Mill Hill, one or two, during that day. So it'll be kind of exciting. And a lot of the activity is going to be on the green. So you'll be getting a lot of information about that coming up really soon. And in May, we're going to have Rachel Revere come to Mill Hill. So you'll be hearing more about all the events that are coming up for the 250th. So we're getting more and more involved with other organizations and the state of Connecticut on the 250th. So you're going to start really, it's really going to start kicking in. But that's what's going on. Any questions?
No, that's excellent. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
And then Susan, pass over to you.
Hello, everyone. We have just launched a young artist competition, How I See America's 250th. And it will close in May, toward the end of May. So hopefully we'll get a lot of submissions from students. In a few weeks, we open A Journey of Hope, the Irish American Immigrant Experience, with loans from Quinnipiac and the Irish Great Hunger Museum of Fairfield. Our reception has already 85 reservations. We hope you're going to be able to join us as well. It's on March 12 at 5:30, and we're expecting a wonderful attendance for this exhibit. We already have several group tours that have made reservations to come see the exhibit. We will launch our 2026 lecture series with a talk titled Connecticut in the American Revolution, Provision State and Arsenal of the Revolution by Eric Chandler, and we are very excited about that. We have a spring tea, which is scheduled for May 3rd, and we have a talk that will be on the Gilded Age Gardens. Finally, in June, we're working on a new exhibition, Revolutionary Roots, Generation of Change, and this will be revealing untold stories of some of the Lockwoods and Matthews ancestors and the important figures who were deeply involved in the Revolutionary War. And we hope you'll be able to join us and attend that as well. Any questions?
What day is Eric's talk?
Eric's talk is on the 19th of April.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Susan. Moving on to reports. First up, buildings. David, you typically handle these.
Sure. There's Doug. I think Doug wants to say something.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Thank you all for your support. Last night, hard work with David and that Westmoreland, the city approved the $275,000 for the study and design for the architects last night. I can't thank our finance department. The city of Norwalk has been absolutely very supportive and fabulous, helping us and all the departments and other commissions to put this through us in really 3.5 weeks. All right, versus waiting. So thank you again for your support. And we're very excited about our future events. It's funny though, somebody said, I hope everybody's staying warm. It's the first time we've ever been open in the winter time ever. And we've had to cancel more weekend stuff than ever. But I guess this is good. We're getting a lot of that, we're getting a lot of information also what we need to do with the mansion, because we never worried about the parking lot being plowed and things like that, because there was just staff coming in. So, it's the city of Norwalk's Parks and Rec and the city of Norwalk DPW crews have been great. So thank you for all your support. I'm done.
Excellent.
So buildings, just a couple of things going on. As Doug said, we got the money approved for the conservatory replacement. Next step is we're working with purchasing and facilities to try to figure out how to do, if we have to go out to bid to hire an architect and all this stuff, because we have an architect of record already, but state purchasing guidelines are pretty stringent upon doing RFPs and RFQs for everything, and we're trying to save time, but we'll have to stay tuned on that one. The RFP for the interior renovation of the Smith Street Jail has gone out to bid, and there's going to be a walkthrough, I think, next week or something with potential bidders. So happy that that's finally happening. We're waiting for purchasing to release the RFQ for our architect for the basement renovation at the Historical Society Museum. The only other building item, which is just annoying, is that the company that the head of the Harbor Apartments on Smith Street used to clear snow piled up the snow up against the barn, literally, and they actually ran their machine into the big garage door in the front and broke the frame. So that's annoying. Working with facilities, who's working with the owners of that development to put everything right. So, and that's pretty much it.
Assuming that there was insurance on that.
That would be their insurance.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Cemeteries
there's nothing to report that I can think of.
and financials.
Financials are good. We're doing fine. I forgot to send out reports. The operating budget proposed for next year is the mayor's recommendation or finance recommendations out, and our budget is fine. Looks good. The capital budget, we were requested to reduce everything by 30%, which I went through and did, and pushed out 30% to the next year. I think we can probably manage around that. So we'll see. And we have a big request in over $1 million for the conservatory replacement. But I think we'll have enough there. So I think we'll be fine. I'll be attending the BET reviews and the various reviews for the capital budget, for the BET review for the operating and capital budgets. And there's a couple of other reviews in the next couple of months for both those budgets that I'll be attending. And I'll be asking Doug, since the mansion has the big items in the capital, to attend with us in support of that. But it's pretty straightforward. So.
Okay. But yeah, if you can send around the financials to the commissioners, that would be
Yep.
super
Sorry,
helpful.
I completely forgot.
All good. Any questions from the commissioners on those items? All right. Moving on to new business. First item up is the interpretive sign for the West Cedar Street Bridge project.
So, yeah, we have the text. Great.
David, did you want to go over this or?
Sure. I'll do that. So the West Cedar Street Bridge was replaced, and there was state funding involved. And one of the things they had to do was the SHPO required them to do an interpretive sign. There was a plaque on the original bridge that we are getting to put in the collection. And this sign has been proposed by the DOT and the State Historic Preservation Office to go back up on it. They've rebuilt the bridge, and they've done a lot of things to keep the character of the old bridge, or incorporate the character of the old bridge. But the issue at hand is to approve the sign. I thought the wording was actually really good, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Are there any logos or anything to sort of, lack of a better term, sort of make it look like it's certified in any way, shape, and form? Otherwise, I mean, I know the brown signage is typically indicative of a historic site for anywhere around the country, but I didn't know if there was something to signify it.
It's DOT standard.
DOT standard. Okay.
I was thinking, or a photo of the marble plaque that used to be there.
Yeah, they with this kind of sign, they can't do a photo, because I did ask about doing photos. Mm-hmm. And they said, this is our standard sign and we can't do a photo. So.
Okay. But yeah, no, I like the language. Language is absolutely fine. So I am in approval of that. If anybody else has any comments about the language.
So I make a motion that the commission approve the language on the sign.
I second.
All right. All in favor?
Yeah, I was
opposed?
trying to read it because it's hard to read because it's so small. I had to take a picture of that.
Do you want us to put it back up, Lisa?
Yeah, just.
It's in the agenda, Lisa.
It's in the packet.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Yeah.
I can.
It's page 9.
Can people see that?
No.
And the plain text is on the other side on page 10.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this.
Okay. Do we need to, Michelle, do we need to redo the motion for that?
Nope, I think we captured what we needed.
Okay. Great. Next item is the cultural assistance lease extension request at Gate Lodge.
Hi, I'll jump in.
Okay.
I'll introduce myself. I'm Kim Morquay. I'm the Vice President of the Cultural Alliance, Fairfield County. And with me on the call is Cheryl Williams, who is the President of the Cultural Alliance, and Douglas Lauston, our new Executive Director. He was brought on board in January. And so first of all, I want to thank the Commission and David in particular for the opportunity to come and allow us to speak at the meeting. The Cultural Alliance has been a tenant at the Gatehouse for over 10 years. And, you know, we've loved the location. It's a great historic building. It's in tremendous shape. My day job, I'm in the real estate business, and we've done historic preservation projects. So it's really a pleasure to see such a treasure in Norwalk, in Matthews Park. It's a beautiful campus. I like to think that we have a cultural district right there with Lockwood Matthews. I'm a former board member there. And the Contemporary Print Center. And then, of course, there's Art Space that's not on the campus, but right next door. So it's quite a beautiful spot and a beautiful building. So we would like to request a lease extension. And that's the purpose of why we're here. And we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
What's the term of the extension?
Well, I would say we haven't proposed anything, but I'll propose it right now, 5 years.
Okay.
Which is, I guess, kind of normal and customary, if you will.
Was that the term of the previous lease?
The existing lease was a 10-year lease.
The 10-year lease.
Yeah.
Okay.
The city normally does 5-year extensions once you have an existing lease.
Yeah, and we've the city actually has. I'll add on to Doug Hempstead's comments about DPW and the city in general, and the property manager that they have, and the city staff. So we've had a very good relationship with them, and we actually want to try and activate the building a little more and use it, you know, kind of as a cultural center, and you know, be a good neighbor. Engage actually more than we have probably in the past with you know, the Lockwood Matthews, as well as the Contemporary Print Center and Art Space. We had our last event actually at Art Space last summer, so we have a very good relationship with them as well in the state. And I've worked with John Cassano over the years, so nice to see you again, John.
Thank you.
But again, any questions you have, happy to address them.
I guess one question might be for Michelle. Procedurally, we vote to recommend the lease extension. Who does that go to next, or are we the final say?
That will go to the building management department. Basically, we'll say what the commission's blessings are, and then they'll go through like the more formal leasing process of how that will shake out. I know they're kind of restructuring the leasing with city-owned properties, so they said just have the commission weigh in and have their thoughts and relay them over to building management.
Okay.
So then once they once they get it, then the Corporation Council will draft a lease. Then it has to go to the Land Use Committee of the Common Council, who will then refer it to the full council for approval. So that's the process.
Got it.
David, I'm going to assume that if the commission agrees that carries some weight through that process?
Well, actually, statutorily, we have authority over the Gate Lodge. The city actually had, anybody would have to come to us first, because in the city code, we have full authority over that building.
Yeah. And I would just want to emphasize something that you mentioned, Ken, which is using the building more, I think, would be really great. I'm not sure if there are any immediate needs right now in terms of using it. And it's not a big space, but if you're convening small groups and so forth, it'd really be great to see activity there in a way that, we've all been working remotely for so long. I love seeing people convene in a historic space like that, especially on that campus. And it's way too easy to go for lunch over to Norwalk Art Space from there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We agree. And we've talked about that. The board has talked about that and activating the space. We, at one time, the Cultural Alliance had a staff of probably 6 or 8 people. We're much leaner now. So we want to utilize the building for, member meetings, small group meetings, even maybe small art shows and events, social events. Again, so it is a small building, but nonetheless, it can be leveraged and also, I think, leverage the assets in the park as well, and work collaboratively. When I was on the Lockwood Matthews board, as a matter of fact, they have a very robust art program that they have, and with showings and art shows and openings and all that stuff. Terrific. So, we'd like to be a part of that.
I have only one more thing to add, which is, although Mr. Louston is quite new, I think he's doing a great job so far.
So, good.
Yeah, convening people. I've heard nothing but good things from everyone in the community. It's really great.
Yeah, we're very excited. Between COVID and other things that, took place, we had our prior executive director pass away, who was a very dynamic guy. And so, it's been a rough couple of years, but we're very excited moving forward.
We're excited
I'll
to
just
have them
add,
as neighbors again.
Because of my, and then I won't say any more, I promise, but, I've done a lot of historic preservation, quite frankly, and that building is a gem, and we want to be really a good caretaker. We'll work with the commission. It could use some, improvements. It has some inappropriate actual additions that have been done to the back. There's a little porch thing that's a little funky. If the commission wanted to, remove it, things of that nature, we're completely in alignment with all the restoration. And we'll work, cooperatively with the commission.
Do you guys still see Chris Radio using that space, the little addition?
Yes, Cheryl's a little closer to it than I am, David, but they are currently using it. That's the radio station.
Yeah, it's our plan. It's our intention to tear the addition down, and our thinking is that we would develop better ADA access into the building once we tear that addition down. But we like what Chris Radio does so much, we don't want to kick them out.
Yeah. Well, there is adequate space in the building, so I think we could, work together and find a solution for that.
That's an interesting possibility. That would be great, because I would love to get rid of that addition. It's pretty horrible.
Yeah.
And so cool. And it's good that you've got a better property manager now with the building management.
Yes.
The old property manager was, he was a slacker. It was me. So,
Okay.
Strike that from the records, Michelle.
I don't care.
And just for the record, we're in support of this also, just for the record.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. I did want to say thank you all for having us here. And we really do love the building. I grew up in Norwalk and it's like part of home. And so we thank you for it.
So
Any other comments or questions? Sorry, go ahead, David.
No, I was just going to say I'm happy to make a motion to request a lease extension by the city of 5 years.
And I'll second it.
Great.
All in favor? There you go.
Great. Thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate
Tim.
y'all.
Yep.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see you in there.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
All right, moving to item C, minor change to Walk Bridge, Manresa Island land swap.
So this came through from DOT a couple weeks ago. I'll pull up the email if you hadn't had a chance.
This came in from the Federal Transit Administration, didn't it?
I thought it came from.
No, from
I just have a letter from
USDOT.
Yeah, I have a letter from USDOT.
Okay. Yeah. So it came from a DOT. But essentially they're just looking to their expiration on some permitting they had for the walk bridge in vicinity of historic, resources of the city. So they're coming back to you to get comments on their extension that we will forward over to them if you have any concerns or issues.
It sounds like they're moving the staging and storage yard to another part of the site, so that the developer who's going to be redeveloping the island can begin work. That's my understanding, right? And they have an assessment that shows no historic properties would be impacted by the move. They determined, Connecticut SHPO determined the Norwalk Harbor Generating Station to not be eligible for the National Register of Historic Places. So their assessment just basically says that there are no historic items of note that would be impacted by the move of the staging and storage yard.
Yes.
So I don't have any issue with this particularly. I don't agree with SHPO's finding that the Manresa power plant buildings are not architecturally significant. They, believe it or not, when they were designed and built in 1960, they won a design award from the AIA, the Association of Architects, for the significance of the contemporary design of the building. It doesn't matter. It's not going to impact them using that for the bridge. I'm just saying their eligibility finding is, I don't agree with, but I don't really care. So, but I'm just want to put it out there. It's actually a great building. If you take all the antennas and crap off of it, it's actually a very well-designed modern building.
That building's going to stay up, isn't it, David?
It is going to stay, and they're going to modify it, and all that's, it's fine with me. So I'm just saying, I know the history a little bit, and it was a very significant building, and I can appreciate why. So I'm just sharing that with all of you for whatever it's.
Well, one of the under the paragraph assessment of effects, it does include a land swap and staging and stockpile activities on top of previously disturbed soils. Okay, so disturbed soils, not undisturbed soils. So I misread that. So it's not like this is a,
This meeting is being recorded.
who was that?
Nope, it was Michelle.
Michelle, is that you on the recording the meeting?
Yeah, it's been recording. I'm not sure what triggered that to go off again, so that's interesting.
Okay.
Hopefully, did anyone's volume go weird? I know
Yeah, it echoed.
It did echo. There was like feedback.
I see Lisa Grant twice now too.
I did as well.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's only one of me.
You're right.
Yeah, Lisa's on here twice.
Wow.
Well, I navigated away to see the attachments that you sent. I was maybe when I went back, maybe it started a whole nother one.
Could have been feedback with the two locations. So
Yeah, is there
Or-
just one now?
no.
You're never alone with schizophrenic.
So I read through
I don't know
those
what to do. I don't want to
materials.
lose the whole thing, so I'm not going to put
All right,
Courtney anymore.
I think it's gone now. I don't see a second Lisa on the screen.
Yeah. I read through those materials, and the only question I have is really in practice, will that property, trucks moving in and out of there and so forth, I'm assuming they take some care and aren't going to disturb areas that aren't meant to be disturbed?
Well, the letter seems to indicate that they're not going to disturb significantly the areas they're working in.
Yeah.
What I didn't see, maybe I missed it, was if at the conclusion of the project, the land that they're using will be returned to the owner's use.
Yeah. It's a really good point. Given the renovations that will be happening there over time, how important is that?
I would assume that the Manresa people are super on top of all this. So
It does say fencing will be installed and sediment controls and inlet protections will be implemented as necessary. Consistent with extent restrictions on CTDOT's easement, no soil will be removed or excavated on site. But it does, I mean, the next sentence hopefully would have been, soil will be replaced where removed. Is that something that we can get clarification on from DOT? Can we request that?
We can. I think they had a time limit on comments from you all. I think it said, so we just have to be conscientious if we do not get them in on time, then they'll probably just go without.
FTA requests your comment on its determination of no historic properties affected within 30 days from date of the letter. They sent the letter on the 10th postmark, or it's dated, the letter is the 10th. That's 15 days. We got 15 more days to respond. I would like to get that clarification from Jonathan Schmidt at DOT.
so we just need to provide them comments. We don't have to vote on anything. Is that
That's what I gathered. But I guess you guys kind of have to come to a consensus of what you would like your comments to be. So there's sort of a vote.
Yeah.
So I would entertain a motion to respond with comment that includes clarification from DOT on the replacement of soil removed from areas disturbed.
And is the land returned at the end?
Yeah, exactly. So if we can go ahead, Eric.
One more thing, those of you who are more familiar than I with the Village Creek Historic District, because this letter from SHPO also indicates that the project parcels are situated adjacent to Village Creek, and that the proposed improvements will not alter the character defining features of the district. Do we know that to be valid?
I
Could
mean,
we
I have,
look at the a more detailed map, because I know Lisa, Eric, and I have been to the site, and it seems like those areas they're using are not visible from Village Creek would be impacted as well as other places by traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going to add. You can't get to that point without kind of moving through Village Creek in a way. So if there is more traffic, and those aren't, really spacious roadways either. So I'm sure there'll be some impact, but hopefully not anything that would relate to the historic nature of the homes in Village Creek.
There's
we
a whole
request?
elaborate plan in place. I mean, actually, they had an update to the community a couple nights ago, and I went to it, and they this is the third or fourth time they've gone to the community, and they had maps and they had updates of what they've revised, according to people's input. I mean, they're getting a tremendous amount of input and a buffer zone for the neighboring communities. So I believe from everything I've seen that it seems like they're addressing neighbors' concerns and there's nothing glaring. But that is to say that we're not going through with a fine-tooth comb what everything is they're doing.
That would be the neighbors that responded, I suppose.
Yeah. And offhand, I don't know what those neighbors think, but it might be good to I don't know if they have a neighborhood what was it called, like homeowners association, or to sort of understand what their position is on what's going on if they have one. There just seems there's a lot going on, but I mean, I think it's a lot of good, things are going on from what I can tell, and a lot of soil and stuff isn't going to. They're addressing it, but they can't remove everything completely. There's boardwalks going over things that coal ash can't be kicked up, and but there's much more detail than I'm able to say right here.
I mean, for years, obviously, the construction of that site is going to create a lot of havoc through the neighborhood and region anyway. And I'm assuming even now, the walk bridge, there must be some pretty big vehicles going through there to deposit whatever it is they're storing there. So
I'm not sure. I think that's water access, because they're working on I think that's what but again,
interesting.
That's my thoughts right now on the edge.
Yeah, what I'd understood is they were going to use part of the Manresa. The DOT is going to use part of the Manresa site that they've leased to actually build the bridge there, and then they're going to float it down through the harbor to install it. And I think most of the stuff is going to be barged in. It's not supposed to be a bunch of street traffic.
Great.
Yeah. Makes sense.
All right,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, there was still a motion that was made. I don't think there was a formal motion made, but to request the clarification of the replacement of soil. So if we want to at least make that comment back to the OT, then we should make that motion.
Yes, and the return of the property of the land once the project's finished.
Okay.
Clarification of that. I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor? All right. So Michelle, with that, is the next step for a letter to basically come from me to ask for that clarification?
Yeah, I could put a letter together and send it over to you for review, just so it's easier.
That'd be great.
And
okay,
since we're on this subject, the next letter that needs to go out from Hugh Rich is they owe us an update on the archaeological update on where they are with the tribes and where they are with the artifacts in their next reports. They laid out a whole schedule years ago. It was supposed to be like over 3 years. They're obviously terribly behind. And have we received any update, Dana?
I
know
haven't
the
seen any.
Historical Society hasn't seen anything in over a year, and they need to at least check in with us once a year. I think, we need to draft something up on that and send it to the FDA and say, hey, because we just some history. I don't know if you know all this, but they fell behind in communicating with us, and we appeal under the contract. There's a clause that says we can, I forget what the word is, but we can basically we can complain to the FDA, and we did. Dana sent a letter, and the FDA actually, much to our surprise, actually listened to us, and they convened a meeting with the DOT, and they did a plan, and we had, I think, another 6 months or a year later, we had another meeting with an update, and as far as I know, there hasn't been anything since. And this is 2021, 22.
So if there's any documentation that, David, Dana, or Michelle if you can send that to me so that I can have full context, and then I can sort of piece together what a very kind letter from the commission might look like.
Yeah. Just to give you, I don't know if you know all this, but
I don't know.
When they were doing part of our mitigation, we told them you have to do archaeological archaeological testing near the railroad tracks on the East Norwalk side behind Liberty Square. Yeah. And they did, and they found like the mother lode of archaeological finds. And we were all very excited about it. We got to see the site and all this stuff. And then apparently they found a human jawbone, which shut everything down because it kicked in the
tribal review,
NAGPRA, something like that, the National Native American Grave Repatriation Act. So it's like a cone of silence went down on it all. The tribes have to, they go through all the artifacts and they deem what is sacred and what we can't see. But the problem is they never told us any of this. They just stopped communicating it. And I heard it secondhand from the retired state archaeologist, and I got really upset about it because we're a consulting party. So it's an excruciating process for them because they're dealing with, I think, 8 tribes across the country reviewing all this stuff. And I don't know anything about tribal politics, but I'm sure it's really difficult for them, but they need to keep us informed. They owe us that, at least an update once a year. So anyway, that's
we're provided with a highly redacted document at some point. That was several years ago now. So that's not,
When they gave us a schedule for releasing all the documents, which would have all the information that we're desperately seeking to find out more about, because we know virtually nothing about
and all of what
the tribes who lived here.
Yeah. And then the one up in Hartford had since been discovered and interpreted, and they got the reports, and it's all done. And that's all happened. And in the meantime, we've been waiting all this time. So
they just didn't find any bones. They didn't find any bones. So
Mandy is back in the state. Is that correct?
She is back there, and I've talked to her a couple of times. And she said she's just been putting out fires since she came back to the and hasn't gotten back to. Mandy Ranslow was the DOT's archaeologist, and she's really good and was really helpful to us. Then she left for a job in DC. Now she is back as she's kind of in charge of all the DOT's cultural resource stuff, which is a good thing. We just haven't. We need to go through the process of requesting formally through the FTA and copying Mandy, and then I'm sure they'll deal with it.
Okay. Michelle,
this is a really important site. This is a site of, first point of contact. Was remained undisturbed all these years, and because it was by the railroad track, there was no building. I mean, they were able to find so much. It hadn't been messed up in the 20s and the 30s, So they were going through, they take painstakingly taking their time with the archaeology. We're doing it the right way. We actually had updates at the time where we went down. I took a lot of photographs and videos, and I have all the information of what they said was found and some pictures of things. But what we need is when they finally were done, and it was been the results going up to UConn, what was there? What
were the findings?
How was it interpreted? All those,
Yeah.
all that.
And I
Okay.
believe there were a certain amount of artifacts that were supposed to come back to us.
No, that was never agreed.
That was never agreed?
No, and really we really don't want them. I mean, it's like, they found 50,000 artifacts. We don't have the capabilities to take care of them. We want to borrow a selection of them and, have a really great exhibit on the indigenous peoples of Norwalk. And there's no reason why we can't, get a loan of artifacts on a long-term basis. But we don't really want all the artifacts. I mean, because it's a lot of stuff that requires special handling and things like that. So,
and the artifacts are going to the tribes, I assume.
No, they'll get stored somewhere. That's part of the process, is that they make a determination of who's going to store them. It'll probably end up being UConn, because I don't think, except for the sacred artifacts, which will be repatriated to one of the tribes or multiple of the tribes, they're not going to want to. I don't doubt any of them have the ability to keep them or want them anyway. So I think it'll end up at UConn, but we'll see. But
So
they did say this was like the most significant archaeological find in the Northeast in 50 years. Because it's the activity on the site was between 1614 and 1641 during the period of first contact with between the New World and the Old World, and it's just that period. And they literally left the site when they sold the land to the English, or they, whatever you want to call that. Anyway.
So I think if I can get Michelle, maybe you can help me sort of compile some of this with David and Dana, because I think you two have the most context around the history of it, as well as Lisa. Help me compile all of it.
Yep.
And then Michelle, if you can sort of find the most recent letters that we've sent, and then we can draft something, hopefully to be sent out in the next week and a half before the deadline.
Well,
no,
this can all be done separately. This doesn't have to do with that.
Okay.
So.
Got it. Okay. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I really like the idea of getting an update on all of that. It seems like it's long overdue.
It is.
All right.
Great.
Anything else on this item at the moment? I know I got David's item D coming up.
Okay, are we on that?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So I think all of you have the form, the Historic Resources Inventory form for the Alexander Morton House at 70 Taylor Avenue. Todd Bryant completed this assessment, so I have a high degree of confidence in it. I'm very familiar with the house. It's actually a couple blocks away from me. It's in really good condition. The previous owner I knew really well, and he just spent a lot of care on keeping it original and really taking care of everything. And the new owners are looking to get it listed on our local inventory. I think they want to, once it's on the inventory, they'll be able to apply for historic tax credits from the state and things like that for repairing the roof and things like that as they come up. So this is something we do every few years. It doesn't come up that often. But, when we talk about demos, demo delays, and everybody wants us to do an inventory of historic buildings in Norwalk, well, we have a significant compilation of historic structures in Norwalk that mostly Ralph Bloom did. We've added to it over the years whenever we've gotten a grant and we've hired a consultant to do a small section of town. They'll do like 200 properties at a time. The problem is that we have 35,000 structures, in Norwalk to get through. So it's an enormous effort. So the repository for these is a file cabinet that's kept at the history room at the Belden Avenue Library. So whenever a building comes up for demo or whatever, the first thing that I look at is there a listing for it in the files at Belden at the library. But this is it's a vernacular house. It's called worker housing. Which is a classification of historic house in the state of Connecticut that actually came out of the historic district that we created for Lexington Avenue a few years ago. The state added that designation, the worker housing for around factories, and this is an example of that. And you can read about it, but the action here tonight is just to approve this, and we put a file together and go put it in the file cabinet at the library and tell the homeowners that it's on the local register.
David, out of curiosity, do you have any record of alterations being done to the home?
No, but other than updated bathrooms and kitchen, it's pretty original. Okay. The exterior is pretty clean. And the landscape is really great. They've just done a really nice job preserving this house over the years. It's a very simple house, but it's
adorable.
Nice.
Amazing. Kind of exciting to add a property like that.
Yeah.
So David, do you want to make that motion?
I would love to make that motion. I moved to.
No, sorry. Go on, Dave.
I moved to place the Alexander Morton House at 70 Taylor Avenue in Norwalk on Norwalk's historic resource inventory.
I second it.
All in favor?
All in favor. All right.
All right. Awesome.
Exciting.
All right. Moving to old business, the good old demolition delay ordinance. So I want to give, I think, John, you went through a round of edits, so I want to give you some time to sort of go through your amendments if you wanted to do that.
Actually, I don't even have that in front of me right now.
All right, I can pull that up on here. Not to worry.
Through trying to support clarity of language, there was some legalese in there that I actually had to look up, and I didn't replace that because I thought the legal language was probably important.
All right.
This
can everybody see it?
The last time I looked at it, they were different colors. I guess when it saved, it just changed it.
Well, it's in track changes. So when you make your changes, it'll do it in a different color so that we can differentiate between the changes.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I would add on here, and David, I know that you're strong in your conviction to move the period to 180 days from 120.
Yep.
So I would recommend that we change it to 180.
Great.
I don't know how others feel about it, but I believe there was consensus last time when we discussed it.
I agree to 180.
As do I.
As do I.
As do I.
Mark?
Great, you don't have to listen to me anymore.
You made a good case. You made a strong case.
You wore it out, David.
I just have a couple triggers. It's the delay period and the Walk Bridge project archaeology. Those are my triggers.
After that, you can just retire from the commission again, I guess, right?
Exactly.
Please stay. Please stay. So I guess, John, if you wanted to sort of talk through anything in particular, then now's your time if you wanted to highlight some stuff that you went through.
I didn't. Let me just see if I do have a copy because I can't see this very much on the screen. I don't think I printed that out because it was it's difficult to track.
Mhm.
So I was hoping, and I'm assuming someone else, Michelle perhaps, is going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb before, anything goes through to being published.
I know that we discussed the 70 and people wanted to go back to 50. I don't know where we landed on that.
50 is better.
I agree.
I'm gonna stick with 50.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will make that 50. We're okay with the definition of significant.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's used throughout the document, but I tried to look at how language was being used, and that word significant is used in the same way throughout the document from
Great.
my interpretation.
Good. I think at this point we're just looking for consistency and just making sure our consensus aligns with what's on the document.
Yeah.
Third-party review. Okay, I also need to change this here. So this goes back to 50. Published in the local newspaper. I know we also mentioned things like, online publications. So I would just make an amendment to say, just to sort of make it a little bit more modern day, just local news publications. And that can sort of be broad enough that it can go on to an online publication and it's not going to be in a paper, so to speak. Does that make sense?
I think I added a note to the email when I sent it out to everyone, but I thought that it would actually be read more by being an online, like neighborhood blog kind of thing than one mention, in a newspaper, printed newspaper.
Yeah.
But the old newspaper still is a good way because that's where I found things.
Yeah.
There'd be lots of different places that people don't look or don't know about, but if there's still a printed newspaper,
I think it should be both.
Yeah, I'm for that.
Yeah, I'm for all places that notices get put.
Yeah.
So why don't
see
we
them
why don't
even
we do
posted.
this? Give me a second, I have an idea. Publishing no less than one
And not that.
online publication and one
Print
physical
paper, print newspaper.
Yeah, one print newspaper. Okay.
Publication. I think there's a gremlin in your
Yeah, you
keyboard.
You gotta do than instead of that.
No less than one online.
And since the Norwalk Hour is the local publication of record, why don't we just leave it at the hour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
they could take it
So-
literally and post it in some other printed paper that nobody reads.
Published in the Norwalk Hour and one other print publication.
Online.
Online, yeah.
Online.
Yeah.
One other online publication?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so not print. Okay,
How about one electronic publication?
Oh yeah.
there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes more sense. Okay, all right, so
I mean,
make that edit there.
What is the place where things get put online like this in other of the groups?
Well, it's not Tinder.
I think the state has language that requires publishing in the paper. So I don't know, that's something legal will have to look at this and say, because I know there's state law regarding this specifically. That hasn't been updated, that obviously hasn't changed with the times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this
I
this
think any online publication would make sense. To me, it needs to be like a community or neighborhood blog or neighborhood blogs for the area where the property exists.
So maybe, Michelle, we can add this in if we can find a way that we can do this while also keeping with state statute. That would be helpful. That's something you can
Yeah.
look into.
Yep.
Okay. 14 days initial submission. Are we all clear on the timelines?
We had talked about the chart of the timeline maybe being a part of this, but I don't know if that's possible.
I think the chart would have to be generated subsequent to council approval.
Approval, yeah.
Well,
I mean, we can probably create something for council so get to help them understand it. But I think, some kind of formal timeline or flow chart of some kind, I think would be helpful.
I think we should create the graphic novel version of the delay ordinance.
Michelle, is there something you can also help us with putting together?
Yeah, I put together, it's hard to have it, like I have attempted to do more of a graphic timeline, but there's just so much information to squeeze into like a graphic that
Yeah.
I ended up doing a step-by-step list.
Is that the information, page 39 of the package?
I thought the list was good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, the list.
that's 39.
This is great, actually.
Put it in the packet. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a moment.
A step-by-step list, I think, would also just be helpful so that people don't have to try to interpret, all of the legal language and municipal language that's baked into this thing. Whoop.
Yeah. Okay. Share my screen again. All right. Objection-based review and delay
The packet,
procedure.
of course, will reflect any changes we're talking about here too, or not the packet, the list that you're doing, like if we're doing
Yes.
50 years and, of course, anything updated here will be that.
Okay. And we're all clear on the objection-based review and delay procedure? I know there was some question about the 30 days the report to be completed, but that is sort of going to be in keeping with the timeline.
So 30 days realistic enough we have a few people we could contact, right?
Right. And the idea is that we only get so many of these.
Right.
So in theory, somebody will have the time to have, in 30 days to give it a full assessment of a property and generate a report for us. And I suppose in theory, although it sort of throws other things into whack, correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle, but if our contractor asks for an extension, is there a mechanism in place to do that?
Yeah, you might want to build in a little bit flexibility that the standard will be 30, but maybe say to the effect of like requested by the peer reviewer and approved by the commission an extension because essentially the delay is already in effect, so they have the time. So maybe something to that effect.
That seems smart given contextually, who knows, the timing and the way something lands, holidays, whatever, could really slow things up.
How many days do we want to give that in a way that doesn't eat into the timeline too much?
Well, if we do it the way Michelle's talking about, we're just saying there could be a grace period and we don't have to name the days. Does that make sense?
Well, we should do it not more than.
Huh. Yeah.
So do we want to do not more than 15 or not more than 30 additional days?
30 seems like a lot. I would do 15.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that business days or a fortnight?
Those days on Jupiter or days on Earth?
Well, we don't clarify business days. We just say 30 days.
Right.
So I'm just gonna, I think, keep it the consistency, 15 days. After the 30-day
After the initial 30-day period?
Yeah, after the initial 30-day period. Okay. I can't spell today, guys.
It's typing.
Oop, and it jumped. It's been a long day. I'm a new dad. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
There's a baby in the house.
Wah, wah. Oh, that's somebody else. One thing.
Go ahead.
One thing we talk about architecture, each individual thing, it's all individual. And as John said, the context, I mean, we're looking at these individual things instead of a whole neighborhood, or I think that's kind of important to maintain a neighborhood or how it all goes together with Norwalk, because when we start knocking teeth out, so to speak, that's something that kind of worries me.
So you're saying in keeping with the architectural and historic fabric of a community, correct?
Yeah, fabric, yeah.
So, I mean, I think...
Wouldn't that also apply to districts? Like historical districts?
Yeah, but we don't even have so many districts, but I mean, there are districts. I mean, you go down certain streets and they're all like, we just mentioned Taylor Avenue has a lot of the vernacular, or if it's down in row 8, we like to call them oyster shop owners. But I mean, that's kind of important to me, those vernaculars.
Well, I mean, do we want to put the wording as historic neighborhoods, districts, etc.?
So any building or structure within the municipal boundaries of, in whole or in part, is known or presumed to be at least 70 or 50 years old. So we could add maybe something under significant building, or add, hold on, let's see here. It would be under this section, or under the significant building definition. Because I think in theory, with all of these listed here, it's sort of assumed that if you're in a district, you meet A, B, C, or D.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
But sometimes it's also like it contributes towards a district, like
Yeah,
the one, like
Sure.
the one that's just happened with the hotel. Like that was by itself, was maybe one thing, but because it was a part of a whole area, which included the South Norwalk.
Ironic how that turned out.
Ironic, I know.
Yeah. I mean, even look at what they're doing on, was it Park Street? They tore down the whole back half and left the front.
Not
The developer's been toting it as a 3-bedroom apartment.
or
the original structure.
or is determined to contribute to how do I say this?
Does D,
Recognize.
does the end of D kind of cover that a little bit? It says in
Well,
the context
I
of
was
a-
thinking the same thing. The building or structure has documented historical or architectural importance in terms of period, style, method of construction. So I think that's sort of the key, right? So if I take this out,
Yeah, I mean, the word association sort of covers that.
Hmm.
Because you'd be
with a
associated with the
recognized
district.
builder or architect, or association with a recognized.
Yeah, well, it says
What if we say within
it has either
a
by itself or in the context of a group of buildings too at the end of D.
so it'd be or association within a recognized historic district or with a recognized builder or architect. How does that work out?
Except we don't have a lot of historic districts, so that's again that goes back to needing to do with the whole inventory, blah blah
Right.
blah.
So it's hard to sort of add
Yeah.
in the historic fabric when that's not really clearly defined.
Right.
So I think until we do the inventory and we can, in a way, sort of draw those lines, the historic fabric or architectural fabric, I think, can be way too broad.
I think, when I read this A, B, C, D to define significant building, I think the good news is that that covers a lot of ground. That seems to be the most relevant stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't unhappy with those definitions.
Okay. So if I take this out, are people still
Yeah.
generally happy?
Yeah.
Right, leave it out.
Okay. We discussed third-party review. Discuss that down there. We have to clear on the timeline. We went over the fees. We're all clear on that.
I wish
Giving
the
us
fee for after someone's demolished something that they weren't supposed to could be much higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, is that up to us or is that up to the Department of Buildings?
It was some calculation of the value, I think, overall, but it seemed minimal to me, like
Yeah.
something you could write off if you just wanted to get rid of the building.
There we go. Stated violation of assistance about all fines imposed on this chapter shall be collected and made payable to the total amount of fines imposed shall not exceed the lesser of 30,000 or 10% of the assessed value. So that would be sort of where we change this.
Yeah. But is that a state standard? Like, how did that get written in there?
That's been in here as far as I know for a while.
Yeah, I think Bill had indicated that they had actually raised it in the past, but this is the one that's always been in the ordinance. So if you guys want to suggest something, and then we can investigate to see if it's plausible.
I would double the per day fine and double the amount here.
I would say $100,000.
How about 180,000? That's a number you like.
100,000?
100,000.
Yeah.
I mean, 10%
And
of the
then-
assessed value of a building, that's just crazy.
Then
That's no fine.
20%.
Yeah. 20. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go with 500 today. Put some teeth into this. Okay.
Yeah.
So make those changes in section A, 5511.
Michelle, you can tell us if someone says we can't, they think we're crazy because we're making these changes.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Well,
I'll
I
make
think
it-
it's a good tactic to ask for more and let them knock us down.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So
Demolition.
with those changes that we can make, we will, I think, clean this up. We can circulate it. Michelle, maybe we can circulate it before the meeting and get people's input, or do we need to have another meeting for people to vote on this and then get it out of here?
Yeah, we'll want another meeting to go over the final edit, and then you guys all formally vote on it, and then we'll bring it to the next step.
I think we should have another public hearing though, with a revised draft.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah,
at
we
your
can-
next meeting, we'll do I'll add all these edits in. We'll have a clean draft, and we'll have the public hearing on it as well.
And can we put out the chart as well? When we publish the new draft, can we publish the chart? That shows the steps.
Mhm.
Yes.
The timeline and the chart, yeah.
Timeline or whatever we're calling it, sorry.
Yeah.
I think that'd be helpful to the public.
I agree.
Okay.
So we're planning a public hearing for the next meeting, or we're planning to do just a seeing this clean version first?
So I think we all need to see the clean version first, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so next meeting, we look at the clean version and then targeting April for a hearing,
Yeah, that sounds good.
and then target May for getting it out of our legislative body and moving it to the ordinance committee.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds good to me, finally.
Yeah. All right. Stopping the share. Any other items for discussion tonight? Hearing none.
I actually
Oh.
have a question. Are we going to have a member of the Common Council on our commission?
That's a good question.
Yes. Who that's going to be, I'm not sure. I know there's a whole new staff in the mayor's office. So, I reached out to Marcia. She said that she's aware of it, and I know, yeah, they're working on it.
Okay. It'll be great to have somebody before this next public hearing.
Yeah.
I'm curious about one thing as well, Dana. You remind me, there are a number of empty seats, right? What's the total
Right.
number that the commission should have to
I think it's
populate?
11. And remember, I'm just the vice chair, but no. So if you're out of line, I have to, no, just kidding. I believe it's 11, but that's just the,
I think that's correct.
yeah.
Mhm. I think it is 11. And I remember having a discussion about knocking it down to 9.
And does
But-
that include the council person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other items? All right. Well, Mr. Chandler, would you like to?
Oh,
your
I
favorite-
would love to reclaim the privilege this evening.
Okay. Floor is
I move to
yours.
adjourn.
Second.
All right.
Motion,
Lisa,
I mean-
are you raising your hand as a all in favor, or just raising your hand because you have something to say?
Is that a motion
All
or?
in favor.
Okay. All in favor.
Yay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank
night.
you, everybody.
Good night.
Have a
Good
great
night.
great meeting.
Thanks, Michelle.
Bye, everybody.